Good morning, everybody. This is Martin John, and we are here to talk about the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written about in the 6th century BC. I gotta switch that up. Written in the 6th century BC, and it is filled with all sorts of enigmatic wisdom and advice and things that we could use to help us live a more reasonable life. The Tao Te Ching was written primarily for emperors and, rulers of the day, 600 BC. It was like the rulers were saying, we need ways of being good rulers. We need ways of living good lives. And those were the only people that really could read. This was before Chinese was even standardized. And so it was written for the rulers of the day, but it is helping rulers understand the nature of things and understand how they can be themselves. Max is going to join me. And we're all, governing things today. Hey, Max, how are you?
Hello, Martin John.
Wow, how's your week been?
I know, I haven't been tuning in. I'm here. The week has been quite hectic, but in a good way. Wouldn't say it's been a negative hectic. I would say it's been productive.
Good.
Hi, Susan, by the way. I just got a message from Susan. Hello, Susan. Love you much. Yeah, it's been a great week.
All right, talk to me. What's going on?
So basically, a couple weeks ago, I relapsed in my eating disorder.
Yep.
Really hard. Really, really hard. And you know what? I spoke to my friends. My team got me through it. My family got me through it. I'm not out of the woods yet, but I'm at least eating.
Good.
And at least once a day. So I mean, baby steps still get you to your destination. And that's my motto.
Practice makes progress.
I've been really focusing. Exactly. Practice makes progress. You know who taught me that? My 72-year-old therapist when I was about 16. She was amazing. Marge, she had me put it on my wallpaper on my phone. Practice makes progress. And I have lived by that standard forever because there's no such thing as perfection. Recovery looks different for everyone. Harm reduction looks different for everyone. And that is beautiful because it's so unique. And I'm taking my unique path.
Yep.
I'm taking my unique journey. And I feel like that's respectable. And my team thinks that's respectable. And they know that I have a lot of, trauma and a past. Love you too, Susan. I almost said Max because I read the message. I said, love you, Max. I said, oh my gosh. I just woke up, so I'm like...
well, I'm glad you're sleeping.
Yes, I am sleeping much better. But the thing is, I'm sleeping on one side all night for 7 hours. And I wake up extremely sore. I'm looking because the beds here are really hard.
Yeah.
Treatment beds. And they're like rocks.
Yeah.
Actually,
I now prefer that.
Do you? Well, I do not. And my body and my dietitian thinks I have osteoporosis. Due to malnutrition. So I'm looking into getting just like a cheap mattress foam thing that you put on your mattress.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll help,
Yeah, good.
to help conform to form to my body. So, but I'm so glad I'm on here with you chatting. How's your week been?
Oh, my week is, life is easy.
Yes, Martin John, life is easy.
Like I have no complaints. I've been, there's always something to do or engage in, or and to just I don't know, it's hard for me to even answer that question, because it's been great, and there's nothing I'm doing lots of stuff these days, but that's not, I don't know that that's why it's great. I think it's great just because it is, and
it is.
Yeah. And when we talk about practice makes progress, for a long time, I've always kind of thought, well, what am I practicing at day to day? And I think I've spent a lot of time practicing on being grateful. I think I've spent a lot of time practicing the thought that I am connected to everything, and that, like practicing Tao. Even when there's nothing happening, by just being still, right? Practicing being still, being okay with discomfort, being okay with I don't get bored, but
me neither.
But
even when I'm not doing anything,
right? And that's the thing. It's like I can be still to the point that it's like I can even feel, I could do something, but I'm not being inspired to do anything. So let's just wait. Let's just sit here. And quote unquote be bored, but it's like it's not bored. It's not being bored. It is just being.
It's just the action of being.
Yeah, and just being just being observant of what is happening. Even being observant of that boredom is not boring.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Totally. Okay, so I have two numbers but I would I want you to pick the one that one of the two numbers.
Okay.
So it's either 98 or 89.
Neither
wait, 98 doesn't work. So let's do, neither of them work. Oh my gosh.
Neither of those work, yeah.
68.
68.
That's my third number. I think we just recently read that one, though. Did we?
Doesn't matter. I don't think so. It's been a while since I've read this one.
Okay, perfect.
68 is do what you love to do.
Oh, yes. Martin John.
Okay, so it reads, great athletes love to play, not win. Great fighters love to fight, not be angry. Great generals love to strategize, not destroy. Great employers love to employ, not be a boss. Mm-hmm. Great musicians love to play, not perform. They are not attached to identities or outcomes. They simply dance with what they love to do. This is in harmony with Tao.
This is beautiful because this really speaks to me, because when I do something like my art, like my poetry, my writing, my playing guitar, I don't do it because I want to have a profession in art. I don't do it because I want to publish my poetry. I don't do it because I don't play guitar to, be a performer or a songwriter, to be a performer. I do it because I love it. Because I love to do whatever activity it is. And that really speaks to me, especially because I'm making plans for potential careers in the future. And I'm kind of nixing the NLP life coach right now. Because I don't think I'm in a stage in my life where I should be coaching people, whereas when I'm not I'm stable, but I could be even more so.
So yeah, and I would always warn, like, you know, everybody that comes out of treatment wants to be a counselor, wants to be a coach, wants to come in, and it needs to be recognized that while you're in treatment, you're practicing a certain lifestyle.
Right.
So when you practice a lifestyle, you progress in that lifestyle. Okay. And so that's great. But this is when identities form names, right? We've talked about that on the show. You know, it's like you now have an identity because you've practiced, as somebody who is engaging in this thing. And so your bias starts to close off options outside of yourself. So although it may sound and feel really satisfying or safe to start to plan your future, any plans that you make are only limiting your scope.
Exactly. And that's why I have like 5 different options in my arsenal, and they're all totally different, but also very much the same. They're all creative. I'm meant to do something creative, but it's not the average creative. Like, one of them is being a piercer, like a professional piercer. I've pierced myself like about 15 times. And I love the practice of it. And I'm a clean freak. And so I'm like, I'd have my OCD would have everything lined up perfectly and blah, 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 blah. Also, a tattoo artist. Would love to do that. Would also love to be a nail tech. Would also love to, do DoorDash to make some extra cash, So like not perfect. That's a label. I have, things in my pocket that I could do if I feel like it, but things that don't create so much conformity, because I could still be me in a tattoo and piercing shop. Nobody would look at me twice, or doing like anything really creative. And so that's kind of why I'm leaning towards that type of stuff. And so, I just wholeheartely believe in doing things for the goodness of yourself and not for the outcome, and not for, the money, for the fame, for the fortune, but doing things because you love it. And I love this reading. I really do. This was a really good one. And I really believe wholeheartedly that, sorry, interruption. But thank you for that reading. 60,
Absolutely.
What was it? 68?
68. Do what you love to do. I'll read it again. Great athletes love to play, not win. Great fighters love to fight, not be angry. Great generals love to strategize, not destroy. Great employers love to employ, not be a boss. Great musicians love to play, not perform. They are not attached to identities or outcomes. They simply dance with what they love to do. this is in harmony with Tao.
They simply dance with what they love to do. That's so poetic. I love that.
And it's important to recognize that the athletes and the famous people that we know around these things, like musicians, famous musicians might not be the greatest musicians out there.
No.
Famous athletes might not be the greatest athletes out there, because like a 4-year-old kicking a soccer ball might just love to play that much more. They may be a greater athlete. They might not be as robust, or they might not be as entertaining, but they in their heart are doing more love for and being that athlete. But it's not about the label to them. It's about the play.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Martin John. If you don't mind sending me the reading, that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Perfect. I hope you have a day.
Of course. I hope you have a wonderful experience today, whatever that comes.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Love you. Bye-bye. All right, we got Susan and then Laura. Hey, Susan, how's it going?
Martin John, it's D-Day. I'm excited.
Oh, is it? Yes, it is D-Day.
It's D-Day.
And how much stress are you in?
None.
Oh, good. Look at you.
I'm
Practice
so excited.
makes progress.
I want to tell you, you can teach an old dog new tricks. I'm here to prove it. I'm just enjoying myself so greatly.
I'm so glad.
They're coming. I'm ready. My house may not be ready. I didn't do everything I wanted to do, but I don't care.
But the house is ready.
These people are my fan club.
Yeah.
I mean, these people love me so unconditionally. And why I stressed is right now beyond me. I may do it again in the future, but at least I got it today.
That's right.
Yeah.
And and your house is ready.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Like this is why I say don't let your definition of perfection rob you of yours.
Yep.
Like what you're doing by saying my house isn't ready is you're putting your house down. Your house is going like, why? What do you mean I'm not ready? I'm ready.
What are you talking about?
I have a roof. I have heat. I have everything that you need to entertain these people. What are you saying that I'm not ready? Now imagine if you were to say that to your child in front of your child. My child's not ready, but I am. And it's like, wait. Like I'm ready. Like that child would internalize that. And that's what we do when we don't allow things to be. Like, your house has a personality.
Yep. Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Like giving it some, understanding that it is a being that was birthed through inspiration. Someone drew it up and someone built it and then you filled it full of love and all of these things. And then just being like, yep, we're ready. Like it's you in the house, and like this is a beautiful team. Like, and you get to be here with it while it does what it is meant to do.
I'm telling you, I have butterflies in my stomach. I'm so excited and so happy.
It's such a beautiful day.
My house is really ready for me. I mean, it's beautiful. That this house is me. I've been here for like 14 years, and it is definitely me. The whole place. Yeah. So,
and you're gonna be on display.
And that's fine. I'm a Leo.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like soak me in, everybody.
Oh, that's it. Just soak in this love because I'm gonna give it to you. That's all there is. That's all there is.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
and what a good week.
Oh man, it's been a wonderful week. It's been a fine week. It's been a perfect week. I don't care what you want to call it.
Yeah, no, it's been a week.
Yeah, it's been a week.
So beautiful.
And today I want you to pick a number for me. I don't have one in mind.
I'll pick a random number. 75.
Oh, that's how old I am.
Oh, look at that. 75. There needs to be a purpose. I don't know if this relates to anything, but we're going to go ahead and read it.
Okay.
People are starved for purpose because everything they do is taxed. That being so, why would they venture to do anything? By being intrusive, governments corral their people, forcing them to make a living instead of simply living.
Mm-hmm.
People have no purpose when their purpose is appointed. Without purpose, why would they want to live? All of this is intrusive meddling. It robs people of their lives and lines the pockets of those in authority. Reading that, I can't help but think about the relationship between you and your house. It's so interesting when we look at our house, our car, our pets as things that are only there to serve us. When we don't look at them as having their own purpose. When we talk about animals, we say they have personality. So they're persons, they're people. Mm-hmm. They're not humans, I get it, but they are people. And when we just reduce them to our pets and say that they're going to do this for me, what we're doing is we're taxing them. Just like, you could inadvertently tax your house by saying it's not ready. Yes, it is. It knows it's ready. And you're ready. And when we force purpose onto something, it's like, I know when purpose was forced on me, that's what drove me to addiction.
Amen. Amen. You know my history.
Yeah.
So, geez.
And that's what this is saying, right? And we want for everything around us to have the freedom that we had defined, but we had to find it in the dark. We had to find it through because we were under the influence of so many things. And in this conversation we were having about your house, of course, I am anthropomorphizing your house in some way, but there is spirit in your house.
Oh, I know that. I have a spirit in this house, actually, that's not me.
Right. And there's personality and there's all of this stuff. And as I read that, I was like, by being intrusive and trying to make your house or your animals or your friends or their people, like being intrusive, governments corral their people. You are, by being intrusive and telling something what it needs to be for you, you're corralling them and forcing them to be something instead of being themselves. I
get it.
And then it says, and this is the kicker, right? People have no purpose when their purpose is appointed.
Yep.
Without purpose, why would they want to live? And those were things that we had to face. And we didn't want to live.
Nope.
And so we pacified.
Oh, do we pacify?
Yeah.
No longer.
No.
All better.
Right. Well, and we face this moment as it is without trying to pacify from it, without trying to escape it. We allow it to be what it is, and we embrace this moment for what it is. Like, you look at it and you say, well, am I in, like, because earlier this week you weren't embracing like the things that as they were. You were embracing your feelings.
Right.
You were embracing your stress. You were embracing and contributing to the anxiety. You weren't actually looking at everything that was. You made rules and had expectations and had all of this stuff. And that's where your energy was going, rather than just being still.
Yeah. all the things that were done to me, I must have incorporated into my life, but I let go. I just let go.
And there's nothing in it to just continue living under the influence of things that make no sense. It made no sense for you to have all that stress. Be like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. Do you really? Do you really have to do all of those things?
I remember when I told you, I have to clean the ceiling fans. Not.
Yeah, no. That's not true. But we believe it's true because we've practiced. You know, when I was talking to Max, we talked about the idea of practice makes progress. It's like practice another way of being. Practice being easy on yourself.
Oh, man. It's such a release.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's so good to see Max today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to hear him.
Yeah. So I'll let Laura come in. Hi, Laura.
Oh, yeah. Laura's stepped away. If she comes back, I'll bring her back up. But, in this one ends with all of this is intrusive meddling. And that's by putting an identity, and we do this to children, and it's okay, you know, like we're not going to not want that. But we can also do it to ourselves. Right? Once we're under the influence of something, and then we start to tell ourselves, like, who we're going to be while under that influence. It robs people of their lives and lines the pockets of those in authority. In one way or another, it does, right? It lines the pockets with like, it lines the pockets of whether it's confidence or money or attention, or it's lining the pockets of those that are convincing us to live under their influence.
Right. Martin John, I knew you were going to come on today. I just knew it. I looked for you yesterday, but I was fine. I just knew you were coming on today.
Yeah, I had to. I got up early, and then I laid back down, and I was like, and then I went back to sleep. And
Good for you.
It was a good slow morning, because I was like, if I'm up, I'll do it. But
yeah.
But I
and
wasn't.
that's what you said.
Yeah.
You know, if I feel like it, I'll come back. And if I don't, I'll see you Monday.
I'll see you on Monday.
Yeah, but I'm really glad to see you today, Martin John.
Yeah, I was really like, this is such a beautiful thing in my life, you know, because one, I get to do it and read through the Tao, and the Tao is such a fun thing for me. It's like, you know, I mean, think about how much I practice now just by reading it every day, connecting with people. Like my life is like, and I've been doing this for 3 years. And so my life is infinitely more open and bright because of
and
this
calm.
work. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the mosaic going?
It's going well. It looks like I am going to be I'm going to be doing 90% of the top third of the entire mosaic. It looks like, because the bottom is a little bit more complex, and the people that are working on it with me are working on it, and the way I work is more organic, and I'm working on the sky. The way they work is more structural, and they're working on like very architectural and other sorts of parts like that. And so the part that I do is moving a little quicker, but it's also you know, really aligned with my style and the way that I create. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about being able to do such a big part of it. And yeah, I'm grateful for that.
And where's it going to go when you're done?
It's going in a train station in Chicago. It's going on
send
one
me a
of
picture.
it's going on it's going on the Red Line. The Red Line travels up and down the lake from the north to south. So Chicago is a very long city. It's not very wide. And it's the Red Line. So it goes all the way from 95th Street all the way up to, which is, that's as far south as, Chicago goes a little further south, all the way up to the north side of Chicago. So to the north end of Chicago. So it travels, and it's going to be one of the stations on the northern side. And the artist that designed it grew up around this station. So this would have been his dream station. And he waited 5-6 years to actually. And when they picked him to do a station, they happened to give him the station that he would have chosen. So I'm really grateful for him, and he is, a friend of 30 plus years of mine. He and I go to the opera together. He sold me his house and all stuff. So so I get to spend so much good quality time, just quietly cutting tiles and placing them down, and he was one of my first art teachers, one of my first professional art teachers, and so yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
It's a beautiful experience. Yeah,
I can't wait to see it, Martin John.
Well, I'll definitely post something about it.
I hope so.
Much. Yeah. Yep. Thank you guys so much. Look at this. So Max and Susan came up. We talked about there needs to be purpose and do what you love to do. These two together, right? I like to look at things together, right? One is people are starved for purpose because everything they do is taxed. If you become an athlete and you're a great athlete and you love to play, but you get cornered in, no, you can't play your way. You have to play my way because we're going to win. Well, now you're being taxed. Maybe it's okay for a while. Maybe it's okay for you to say, okay, I will address or I will shift what I do. But it can be taxing. Hey, Melissa, look at your avatar. Looking so pretty. Look at that.
Thank you, Martin John.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm not feeling great today.
Okay. What's going on?
Yesterday.
If you want to talk about it.
Yeah, yesterday didn't go as I expected, and you know how I am with expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had expectations, and I let them affect how my evening went. It kind of started off really messed up because I made plans, and then I got there and I ended up waiting for 40 minutes, not knowing what was going on, and no text. And I tried to make a few phone calls, no answer. So I think that kind of set the stage. I was like, what the actual fuck,
Yeah.
Then I didn't get into an accident, but I came an inch from plowing into a car. So yeah.
So you're grateful.
I'm grateful that I didn't plow my beautiful
Yes.
purple car into this other person's vehicle. Yes, I'm very grateful for that. But I think that for me, I don't like rules being imposed that I have no control over. And I think that was part of it, I had planned for, to have a nice dinner to celebrate Shane's birthday. And, like I said, it just didn't go as I had planned. So.
Right.
I'm in my feelings.
Okay. Yeah. And you can see through the, that a lot of this is through expectation.
Yeah. I think maybe there's some feelings of rejection too, probably, if I'm being honest.
Right. And that's and we've talked about that. And so we know that is always looming, right? That is the thing that you move towards. And it's interesting when we talk about like things like rejection. Rejection turns out to be about us, but really it's about someone else choosing something for them. It's not choosing us.
Right.
Like if you choose to have dinner at restaurant A, did you reject restaurant B? No, you just chose restaurant A. This actually has nothing to do with restaurant B. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
and that's something that in Tao we look at where it's like, this is what's reasonable. Like it's like, and I don't know all of the ins and outs, but and we can talk about that elsewhere. But do you want to pick a number, and we can explore it through that?
Yeah, you want to pick a random number for me?
I can. 56. Learn to be silent.
Me be silent? That you must be Jesse Martin John.
Well, maybe it's a lesson. Okay, so as this, learn to be silent. The first thing that pops into my mind is learn to be silent in your own mind, right? By not having expectations, by not having those things. But let's see what it says, and let's kind of go through it from there. Those who know aren't drawn to speak. Those who don't know are compelled to. Can you close your senses and your mouth? Can you be guided by the empty void? From there, meditate in silence, blunt your sarcasm and wit, simplify your struggles, shade your brilliance, be at one with the dust. This is primal existence. Be like the master. She is uninspired to acquire fame, yet honors are bestowed upon her. She is possessed by no one and possesses no one, yet is always loved by many. She is immune to both attraction and repulsion. And we can also use rejection in that, right? She is immune to both acceptance and rejection. Receptive to both profit and loss. She is noble and held in high esteem by all beings. Now, she isn't immune to acceptance and rejection because of anything specific. She is immune to those things simply because she is accepting what is in this moment. She's not immune to it because she is special. She's done something because it's everything that she's done that has unfolded into being immune to those things. And so it isn't like there is a destination. So being immune to both attraction and repulsion, acceptance and rejection, being immune to that is about living life and about going through moment to moment, recognizing where one, like your attachment, your possessing, your attachment, your wanting that attention, you're wanting all of that from outside of you. That then yields when you recognize those things, and then you practice, as we were talking with Max and then Susan, this idea of practicing, like blunting your sarcasm and wit, simplifying your struggles, shading your brilliance. Of course, it was like you had expectations. And of course you had expectations. Here's someone that you care about, and there's no time for you. or they choose something other than you. And that comes into old stories. And then threats.
Yeah.
And those threats aren't real. I mean, I don't think. They just play out as threats because of how you perceive them. And the reason that we can say that is because the same words are being used today as were used last week, as were used the week before, as were used the week before. And maybe not with just Shane, but with your job. You know, you're being rejected, or you're being pushed out, or you're being excluded, or you're not being helped, or you're not being, you know, like all of those things. As that story starts to play out, we have to remember that you were secluded to the library. You were rejected everywhere else. And you're looking to be safe like you were in the library. But that story, you were safe. Now, it didn't look that way. And this is why we talk about like living under the influence. There's a lot of story. I was thinking about you last night going, wonder how she's doing.
I was struggling, dear.
Yeah.
And I was told part of my dark side was visible, and God knows I love to hear that one, talking about jeez.
Yeah, you know, like I've gotten,
right?
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten in trouble just by asking if somebody. It's like, are you on your period? and I've gotten in trouble for that. And then like 2 days later, it's like, I want to let you know that this was happening. And I was like, oh, see, like I don't want to ever kind of be like, look, I'm not taking this away from you. You have a valid right to be upset, but I don't know how to take it, right? I don't know how to receive it because it's like, where is it coming from? And when it's coming from trauma, nobody is going to make it better.
Yeah.
Except us. And that's why we have to listen to the story that we tell. Because if the story that we tell is familiar, then we have to be able to, one, recognize that we're not thinking clearly and stop thinking so that we can allow this to pass and open ourselves up to what is, honestly, what is here. And my guess is if we were to think about it clearly, we can be more reasonable.
I want to be more reasonable.
You know, and that's the thing. When we're when we're having struggle, it's we sometimes lean into it. So the struggle's just a little harder, so that we don't have to have any barriers between us and our victimization, because it's familiar to be a victim. Wow. Because when we were young, it was we were total victims. So when we have a little bit of struggle, and it's struggle we weren't expecting, or it's struggle that is that has a catalyst of someone who says they love me or who says they care. Now all of a sudden I have a right to be angry, and instead of and we accept that invitation. Right. This is very similar to accepting. I'm going to look up a different number and we're going to talk about, I don't know, conflict.
Dude, I love that you call me on my shit. The shit that I don't even see, man.
Yeah, no, it's life is easy. So an invitation to conflict, number 69. In conflict, the master will never host aggression. And if you look maybe, it was his birthday, who's hosting aggression?
Yeah.
And it's, it's like, okay,
No,
well,
I mean,
is that...
you hit the freaking nail on the head when you said the victimization shit. And I was like,
Right.
oh, I was feeling, and I don't realize this shit. But now that you said that, that's exactly what I was doing. I was feeling like a victim. I was a victim because I had to sit there and wait. I was a victim because the waitress didn't come back and get me the tartar sauce that I needed to go with my fish. I know.
Your life is so
Poor
hard.
fucking me, right? I was a victim because I couldn't spend the time with him that I wanted. Wow, get over it, right? Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Right?
So all of this, I want to just point out, you're doing some heavy lifting right now in your life, right? Like the work that we're doing together, all of this. But I want you to recognize that when you start doing that work, you get invited to do it deeper. So, it's kind of like when you get through college, you graduate. And the thing is with life, when you graduate into a new level, you don't get a party. You get another lesson.
Party.
You get another lesson.
Yeah.
And that's it. There is nothing to celebrate other than you. And so as you unravel all of this past trauma and other things like that, what's going to happen is your life is going to present you with an invitation to return to being stupid. And you can accept that, and it will just be that much more difficult, just like it was. You can say, yes, I want to be a victim again. And then you will be the victim, and it'll be like, it's so hard. And then you'll wake up and go, oh, that was so stupid. I didn't have to do that. And now on the other side of it, and you're going to drop off, please come back up if you can. Now on the other side of it, you can see, and this is the lesson. This is when, there is that one verse in the Tao that talks about what is the good if not a lesson for the bad? What is the good if not a vision for the bad? What is the bad if not a lesson for the good? Or, that, that line. So important. So here is, last night you have a vision for what quote unquote bad Melissa is. Right? This is the Melissa that you don't want to be. And again, there's no reason to judge it, but it didn't feel good. It's not resonating with you. It's not who you want to be. We can look at that as a lesson and then say, well, what was happening there? And we can say, oh, I felt rejected. And then because I felt rejected, I went into victimization so that I can further emphasize my rejection. And I had my eyes closed. I wasn't observing what was happening. I was just caught up in what was happening. And this is the lesson. This is what we get to do. This is at the core of everything, because you were under the influence of your old ideas of trauma, your old ideas of victimization, your old ideas of rejection. And there was no library to go to.
There was no damn library. You're right, Martin John.
And when you don't have...
But I didn't drink, and I came home and I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Nope. I'm not going to do that. Putting poison in my body is not going to help the situation at all. So I just went to bed.
Good. Mm-hmm. Because you could have made it so much worse. Think about that. Think about all the steps and stages you had to go through, and you made a good decision. And this is you being inspired, and this is you actually growing. If you you have been doing so much heavy lifting. And don't think that just because you're you're able to observe once, that you're going to be able to observe everything all the time. This is like practice. Practice makes progress. Okay, you did this. Now, there is that correct. Give me one sec. Correct her. Oh, is that right? That's not right. Can't be. So it talks. There's a verse. I can't find it right now. I might be able to remember some words from it in a moment. But it corrects her errors. And doesn't require the same of others. And we just, when we err, we recognize it and correct it to the best of our ability. Because, and it's the best of your ability. At this moment, when you realize you err, you correct it to the best of your ability. So, and you realize you erred. Now, you correct it to the best of your ability. It doesn't mean that it's done and over. It just means you do your best. Right? All great beings realize when they err. Having realized it, they admit it and correct it to the best of their ability. That's what you do now. And that's what you do from now on. You've realized you've erred. Now you can stay in victimization and you will never realize you err.
No, I don't want to be in victimization. Right. I want to be happy-go-lucky, Melissa, not poor, pitiful me.
Poor, my tartar sauce. All right, I know you got to get going, but I love you. And we'll be in touch a little later today.
Okay, I love you too. Thanks for helping me get out of my mind.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You were out of your mind before we met. It was just like...
I didn't mean it that way, Martin. But I do love you, and I will talk to you later, dear.
Okay. Oh, what a beautiful day. That's so good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. We had Max, Susan, and Melissa. Everyone's so beautiful today. Now, it's little by little, step by step. Everything, it's practice, not progress, or progress, not perfection. And practice makes progress, and all of those wonderful little sayings that you can put on a poster and put up in your room. And that's what we do. That's how you wind up somewhere. That you just take one step. And you don't try and get to the destination. That's not why you're taking the step. You're taking the step because the step needs to be taken. And you don't know where it's going to take you. When you have ideas of where it's going to take you, then you're closing yourself off from where you're going. It's much better to just be you as you are. And that's really what we were talking about a lot today. Do what you love to do. And embrace all that comes with it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This is Tao of the Day. I'm Martin John. If you're interested in learning more about the Tao and other things like that, you can check out my website, which is, there are links in my profile. Other than that, I'm here usually Monday through Friday. Now, I'm here Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central, and usually I try and get some weekends in there as well. But here we are. You guys enjoy your Sunday. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.